Altria. Is this a buy? Or will this leave you selling your butt to a hot guy? Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. We got to talk about this amazing, and I'm using quotations here, dividend stock, Altria, ticker symbol MO. What's up with this stock? Is this a great investment? Are you going to get amazing dividends going into the future? Because they just announced a quarterly dividend increase. They increased their dividend by 4.3%. What is this company? They sell tobacco products. Specifically, all sorts of electronic smoking products, dipping tobacco, cigarettes, every possible freaking thing that you can imagine. Now, the whole tobacco industry is going through a transition. They're transitioning from traditional cigarettes where you light it up and you smoke it and you inhale all sorts of tar into your lungs and it kills you over your life. They're transitioning from that into better alternatives. Cigarettes that are electronic, that don't fill your lungs with as much tar or any tar at all. They're trying to transition because the world, slowly but surely, is moving away from smoking. Imagine one day if there could be a cancer-free dipping tobacco. Woo! Baby, that would be awesome. So let's talk about what's going on with this company, and then I'm going to give you my thoughts at the end of the video, whether I think the dividend is sustainable or not, because that's why most people buy this stock. So first of all, what are some of the big events that are going on with Altria? It's a major tobacco company in the United States. Well, in the news, they've went ahead and divested of the commercialization rights for a product called the IQOS. I Quit Ordinary Smoking. So the commission, the International Trade Commission, banned the import of the IQOS into the United States. So Altria said, well, since we have all these legal issues, we're going to sell the commercialization rights to Philip Morris International. And that's what they went ahead and did. And you can actually see on their most recent quarterly report that they have a receivable and a gain for that. If we go check it out, we can see right here. This is their most recent quarterly report. They have a receivable from Philip Morris International of $1.77 billion. And if we go and look in the income statement, they have a deferred gain on the sale. This will eventually go to their income statement of $2.7 billion. So that's a pretty significant change. That's pretty crazy, okay? So they've divested of this system. Also, they went ahead and acquired a company called Enjoy. Now, what is Enjoy? Well, it's another one of those e-cigarette vaping things, okay? So they divested of the IQOS. They've acquired this new Enjoy company. If we go look at the financials of Enjoy, it's actually pretty funny. So this is the balance sheet of Enjoy. So we can see this is not a good balance sheet. Enjoy had a little bit of cash, almost no receivables, a tad bit of inventory, nothing here, but they have a lot of these intangible assets: developed technology, amortizable, that's future expense, trademarks, and supplier agreements. This company is going to be a very interesting thing for Altria. I can say that at a minimum. Why? Because they are basically hoping that this will somehow generate a lot of future revenues for them. But as of right now, they basically just bought a bunch of future expenses. There are not a lot of tangible assets to this company. Enjoy just spent a bunch of money on developing the technology and the trademarks, and now Altria bought them out and is going to try to sell the products and hopefully recuperate all of these future expenses that are currently sitting on the balance sheet. Now, how much did they pay? Well, it says the total consideration is $2.9 billion mother effing dollars, okay? Mostly cash. They acquired this company for $2.9 billion. And they spent, for goodwill, they spent $1.6 billion more than the fair value of the net assets. So they spent $2.9 billion. A big chunk of those were intangible assets, basically spending on future expenses, developing technology, rights to the technology, and they recorded a massive amount of goodwill on their balance sheet, which is, guess what? An intangible asset. Now, if Enjoy doesn't work, basically Altria will have wasted $2.9 billion. Now, you may be wondering, why are you such a Downer, Debbie Downer strong man? Well, let's read about what happened with Juul. Altria Group, the maker of Marlboro, took a $4.1 billion impairment charge on its investment in Juul. Everybody remember Juul? All the high school kids were using it. I never used that crap. The charge was due to the increase in legal cases against Juul and the expectation that the number of cases would continue to grow. The charge brought down the value of Altria's investment to $4.2 billion at the end of 2019. Now, they're basically cutting their entire investment. They lost 95% of their value. This highlights the risk of investing in these tobacco companies. They pay an absolute fortune for the rights to commercialize these assets, right? Enjoy. Juul. They just sold IQOS to Philip Morris International. They're paying a ton of money for these things. And if it doesn't work out, they get absolutely annihilated. And we're going to see on their financial statements in more detail how bad it actually was, okay? This Juul thing is a disaster. I mean, look at this. They did a recent 8K filing where they agreed to settle 6,000 Juul-related cases for an aggregate amount of $235 million. Juul absolutely destroyed them. Now, if we go look at their financial statements, okay, we're going to see if their dividend is sustainable. Now, we don't know what the future holds. I'm sure they can increase their dividend for a little bit. But let's go ahead and look at their revenue. So check out the pinned comment below and join our Discord community where you can ask me questions directly via text. And if you sign up for the highest tier, you can actually meet me in person every 2 weeks. So check out the pinned comment, join the Discord community, and let's make some money. Their revenue is basically flat. They haven't grown revenue, and I think this is after inflation. So actually they've had declining revenue for the past, 7, 8, 9 years? Horrible, okay? But go down to margins. Margins are increasing. Operating margin is increasing. That's good. Profit margin, can't really tell, but I imagine it's slowly increased over time. Free cash flow margin, it's inching up a little bit, okay? Let's go look at their balance sheet. Now, let's see what Juul did to them. So they recorded Juul as a long-term investment. So you can see the long-term investment account goes up and up and up from 2016 and then 2018. And then it goes down and down and down and down. This is them writing off Juul, okay? This is not good. Look at that. Now we go down and we look at their shareholders' equity. They have more debt than assets. They have $3.8 billion more debt than assets. So they have flat revenue. They have slightly increasing margins. Their free cash flow really isn't growing. So you have to ask yourself, if their free cash flow really isn't growing, how are they going to pay a continually growing dividend? I mean, let's go ahead and look at their free cash flow growth. So basically, it's been flat or anemic, a random one-time spike here. But their free cash flow is basically flat. So how are they going to continue to raise their dividend over time if they have declining real revenues and their free cash flow is flat? I don't know. And then they just spent a boatload of money on acquiring freaking, Enjoy. And if that leads to a disaster, which is possible because the government could potentially intervene again, what's going to happen to this company? So yes, they're paying a dividend. Oh my God, it's so amazing. But there's a lot of things going wrong with this company, okay? I don't like investing in a company that has negative shareholders' equity. And if we look at their long-term assets, most of their long-term assets are intangibles and goodwill. Those are intangible assets, okay? As a matter of fact, 66% roughly of their assets, long-term assets at least, are intangible assets. This company is massively in debt. This is not good, okay? I mean, it looks like they're trying to pay off the debt a little bit. But I say screw the freaking dividend. Get out of debt, okay? That's my thoughts. I don't like this company. I mean, oh, it's cheap. Look at the PE ratio. Oh, look at the price of sales and look at the price of books. Negative. Oh my God. Look at the price of free cash flow. But it's not that simple. Good luck. Cheers.